Hello and welcome to Staying Ahead of the Curve. I'm Jeff Snyder, Vice President, Senior Consultant with Cammack Retirement Group. And I'm joined today by Jamie Olp of Lincoln Financial Group. Jamie, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Jeff. Glad to be here.
So we're here at the Spark Annual Conference, and you just spoke about helping Americans save for retirement. I know from knowing you for a long time that this is a passion of yours. So wondering if you could just share some of the insights that you raised with the audience today.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. It's been, we've known each other a long time, been in the industry 26 years. It's been a passion of mine the whole time. I think it's more important today than ever. If I think about how many people are going to go into retirement without a defined benefit plan, what we do as an industry becomes increasingly more important because the individual now has the responsibility to not only save enough for retirement, but figure out how to turn that into their own personal defined benefit plan, meaning income in retirement.
So this obviously is a passion, and we've seen the industry evolve, and it's continuing to evolve. We've seen innovation from all the record keepers like Lincoln Financial Group and others, asset managers, and it's an exciting time in our industry, I guess, is what I want to talk about with you now.
It is. It's an exciting time, and innovation comes in many forms. You know, I think it can come in the forms of products and technology and service. One of the things we just did at Lincoln, which I'm really excited about, we sent a team out to Silicon Valley, and that team looked at what can we leverage from Silicon Valley, which is probably the hub of innovation from a technology standpoint. How do we do that? How do we bring that into this industry to drive better outcomes, better customer experiences? And I think that's really going to be helpful as we help Americans save for retirement in the future. Really important to millennials.
So this show is on the channel Building a Better Retirement System with Asset TV, and we just recently had the launch. And I would agree. I mean, we're looking for innovative concepts and ideas, and they start in areas like Silicon Valley and Austin, Texas, and other, hotbeds of technology, but also elsewhere around the world and country. And it's, imagine within your organization, you've got a product development staff, a lab, and things that you're thinking about over the next 5 and 10 years and 15 years and beyond.
We do, and in fact, we created a new group, Customer Experience. Sharon Scanlon heads that for us, and it is focused on taking whatever products we develop and design and figuring out what's the best customer experience. And when I say customer, I mean the participants, the plan sponsors, but also the advisors, the intermediaries. So the individuals who are working with those individual participants, what's the experience we can create for them that's going to truly drive a better outcome for participants?
So Jamie, you talked about innovation in terms of products and services, but we've also seen innovative ideas in terms of offering coverage to many Americans who are not covered by 401k, 403, and 457 type retirement plans. Could you share Lincoln's perspective and what you're seeing in the marketplace?
Absolutely. I think this has long been a challenge for us in America is one, how do we get more Americans covered? And however we can do that, whether it's retirement plans that are traditional 401k, 403b, 457, but also if there's auto IRAs, whatever methodology we can use to get more Americans covered in retirement, I think we're 100% behind that. And then within the plans that you heard me speak about it this morning, we're not taking full advantage of all the features that we have in plans. We're not taking full advantage of auto enrollment, auto escalate, and as you heard me share, 1 in 4 people who have access to a match don't take advantage of the full match. That's $24 billion, Jeff, that's left on the table.
We have a lot around communication in our industry. We hit participants from so many different angles, and that's important. But it's also important to raise a national conscience, if you will, about savings. I've talked about this on the show with other people. We've done Cammack retirement briefs on the topic. It's important to engage the American people on saving and planning for their financial futures.
There's no question about that. And I think it's got to be the convergence of retirement and everything else that goes into that. So you think about the cost for health care, you think about the cost for retirement, and basic things like just budgeting and paying off debts. How do we bring all that together? Because people don't think about it in silos. People think about it as their entire financial picture. And I think the more we can do that, the better we're able to help people plan for retirement because they've got all the other things as part of a whole picture.
And what I really liked about your message, and I think others here at the conference, is, it's not this 100% of everything. We have to, as competitors, we have to win. It's collaboration. It's working together as an industry, as record keepers, as asset managers, and other people, consultants, to kind of bring the best ideas across the industry. And that's really what your organization's about, and this Spark Industry organization's about as well.
Yeah, and Spark in particular has had a tremendous impact over the years on bringing the industry together and where we need to creating standards, and at the same time bringing the industry together on having a unified message. I said it from the stage this morning, but we are, I think, in a great position to impact how Americans save for retirement and how prepared they are for retirement. We need to do it as an industry. All of the groups that you just mentioned that are part of this industry coming together to figure that out.
But it's also a partnership. We need help from the governmental entities. We need the regulators, the legislators, the president to kind of raise the issue. We just had a conversation about healthcare for almost 2 decades or longer. What about a conversation about retirement?
And we're starting to see that. And I think that conversation does need to include all parties, the industry, the regulators. And honestly, I think there's been some really good dialogue. With the new DOL rule, there's been some great dialogue with the folks at the Department of Labor and with other individuals in the industry and regulatory bodies on how do we do this? How do we figure it out as an entire country to make sure that we have Americans ready to retire, because it will be individual responsibility.
And improving the existing system rather than just tearing it down and just rebuilding it. So, Jamie, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Great, thanks, Jeff.